Howling. How do you howl for a coyote? Let's talk about that for a second. You're going to hear people say you got to have this certain howl, and that's like an invitation howl, or you got to have this howl that's a interrogation howl, or a lone coyote howl, or whatever. I've been around coyotes my whole life, and I don't know that I've ever heard the exact same howl out of any coyote. I might have, but it just seems like they're all so different. I don't think the howl itself actually matters. I think just the fact that you howl, if you want to howl and try to howl them in, then I think you just got to do it. You just got to howl. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's one way to do it and that's what works. I've tried different howls, and it seems like if they're going to come into a howl, it just seems like whatever you do works. But I'll give you an example. You can start a howl with a couple of barks. We call them yips. But you can do a couple of yips and then start the howl, or you can just do the howl. It's totally up to you. I like to start it with a couple of yips, and then I do the howl, so it sounds kind of like this. That's one kind of howl. You could do it without any yips. You could do like an older coyote. You just go further on up on the reed to do that. You just go. And where you cut it off is totally up to you. But howling is, I don't think there's a fine art to howling. It, in a lot of cases, it can sound real high pitched and you don't even think it sounds like a howl, but to a coyote, it would be a howl. You can also use like a siren, and you've probably heard about this. People will use like a police siren, and they do that for a locator. They'll play that siren, and coyotes will howl back. And again, that's just a high pitched, loud like this. And if coyotes are in the area, sometimes they'll howl back. So it's totally up to you how you do it. But like I said, there's no right howl necessarily. People will say, you know, this is the how you got to do, and I mean you can do it 9 times out of 10, nothing's gonna happen. If a coyote's gonna come in to howl, and you howl, he's probably gonna come in, no matter what howl you use. If he's not gonna come in, then you can howl the best howl in the world, and it's not gonna do you any good. But again, back using howls, but like when you down a coyote or something, uh, you can use a wounded coyote sound, and what I call it a kai. I think a lot of other people do too, but it's like a wounded coyote. So you're just gonna go. So you're just gonna do short bursts on the very tip of the reed. But if you start high on the reed and you just pull if you're using your teeth or your lip, whatever you're using, you pull it down on the reed, it'll just get a higher pitch. So you can start high up like this, like that, and then just pull down. Depending on what noise you want. If you don't want it real high and you want to sound like an old coyote, you can go. If you want an older bark, high up on the reed, just blow air. a young pup, you do it low on the reed. That's a young coyote howl. So I hope, you don't get intimidated by trying to use a howler. The best way to do it and find out what works for you is to get out there and use the howl. But like I said, there's no right howl. Just get out there, use the howl, and then use whatever calls you want to use. But that's for the howler. Hopefully you guys had some good luck. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Until next time.